Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story. It's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. And it's Motivational Monday. I'm so delighted that you are here. Today is a recording, by the way. I just want to let you know because I know as you come in, I always say hello. Today, I'm not going to be able to do that because I'm not going to be here doing this show live. But I think that's okay, right? I think that's okay. I want to start just by saying, first of all, welcome. And I'm thrilled to have you in my little circle. It's, isn't it nice to belong? Isn't it nice to be a part of a community that lifts each other up and that cares and that has each other's back? And I know you all do that for each other. I feel like you do that for me. And I sure hope you feel like I do that for you as well. Pinkies up on that one. As you know, I mean, here we are in the middle of Christmas season and everybody is full on holidaying, aren't they? I know I've got a party to go to tonight. We had parties over the weekend. We have more coming up. It's a lot. And I'm really love the holidays, but I also love, it's sort of like going on vacation, isn't it? You go on vacation, you anticipate, you have this fabulous time, and then you pack up, you start the heavy work of getting home. You pack up, you get on your airplane, and maybe there's more than one flight to go through and all of that. And then you finally get home. And the only thing that you can think of on the last day of that trip is sleeping in your own bed. Am I right? Well, that's kind of how I am with the holidays. I know that once January 1st rolls around, I'm going to be really glad to put it all away. But for now, I'm going to enjoy it. And we just put our Christmas tree up, got rid of all the Thanksgiving stuff, and just, I even have slip covers for all of my couch pillows. So it makes everything a little more jingle belly. So I don't know what you guys do, but that's me. I mean, I don't have Lynn has 5 trees or something like that. I have a tree, and that's all I can pretty much handle. Our quote of the week is just, I think it's just fantastic. And it's a Dr. Laura quote that she says, "Don't cling to a mistake just because you spent a lot of time making it." And, that just brings me back to the place of remembering how we find ourselves in a place where the old stuff just isn't serving us anymore, but we've spent and invested maybe a lot of time and energy into it, even money. But there's times where you just say, that's it, that's enough. I need to go a completely different direction. That's what that's all about. So anyway, I invite you into taking this little quote, dropping it in your journal, and allowing it to do the work in your head, because it is that important. Also, we have a brand new special this week that I want to bring you into, because this is something that's going to help set you up for the new year. Because I know there are so many people, one of their New Year's resolutions, if you will, is eating at home more or eating healthier food and what have you. And so one of the things that I have found that really makes a difference, it's a needle mover, by the way, is having a plan B and a plan C, because plan A sometimes doesn't always work, where we have these plans, we do the menus, and then something comes up. Well, if you have plan B sitting in the freezer ready to go in our freezer meal kits, then you are golden, sister. We have low carb, paleo, and family classic family recipes available in this humongous bundle worth tons for just $27. You can find that at savingdinner.com/show. We always put the links in the chat too, by the way. So go ahead and check that out. And I invite you to go take a look at that. These are tried and true recipes and delicious. And boy, oh boy, do they make a difference. Plus, that's really helpful for your pocketbook, and it's helpful for your peace of mind. And isn't peace of mind just so much a part of this puzzle? I think so. The other thing that I want to mention too is if you are wondering, like, what am I going to do for Christmas? As far as Christmas dinner, as far as having people over, as far as all the things, I invite you to go to savingdinner.com/Christmas. This is where we put the Christmas menus. And you know us, we go all out. It's not just here you go and here's your recipes. There's also a shopping list involved and a bunch of other stuff. You'll have to go to the link to go get it though. Savingdinner.com/Christmas. And I invite you to share this link with all your friends because, Christmas menus. Who doesn't want a Christmas menu? Everybody wants a Christmas menu. So that's what we have today. And today's show, by the way, is going to be very, very short because I feel really, 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 really led to share this little tiny nugget with you. And again, this would be a great journal prompt for you, for those of you who are using your journals. And by the way, the journal stuff, it's everything. The journal stuff helps you to sort yourself out so that you can get beyond something that's been holding you back, or see something that you've never seen before, or keep up leveling and keep going and all the rest of it. That's how critical, that's how amazing journal prompts are, and having using a journal. And that writing is absolutely gold. So trust me on this when I talk about it, because it's just really great. And today what I'm going to be sharing with is a little bit of something that I shared with you way back when we did Full Bloom, probably a couple of years ago. And the Full Bloom that we did back then was called I Am Enough. And it was just percolating on the fact that we are enough. And it is all about who you are, whose you are, why you're here, that you're called on purpose and for purpose, and that there is no one like you. And it's no accident that you're here. You're not just some biological accident. And I don't care if somebody told you that, wherever you have come from, or whatever auspicious beginnings you have had, there is always an opportunity to reset and to just take a look at the facts. And the facts are, you're here on purpose and for purpose. Therefore, all that you are, even right now, even if the things that you want to fix, all that you are right now means you are enough. This is a good meditation. This is a great place to find peace within yourself. And it's also critical for getting off of the comparison carousel of crazy, the diet carousel. How many carousels of crazy are there out there? There's a ton. And we get stuck in these things, which puts us in a loop of negative thinking, which puts us in a loop of reliving things, refeeling things, re-emoting things, being in a place that is less than optimal for living a vibrant life. And if that is what we want to do, heart, mind, body, and soul, then we have to step into this place of recognition, of realization, and of understanding whose we are and why we are here. And let me just sidebar for a minute and say that there's a lot of people walking around going, I'm supposed to find my purpose, but I don't know what my purpose is. Just allow for the purpose to unfold in front of you is all I can say. Is that if your antenna are up and you are saying, yeah, I'm here on purpose and for purpose, God, show me my purpose. Let me see it. And understand too, sometimes your purpose isn't for this great, big, huge, massive thing. Like you're not going to go, cure world hunger or something, but instead is for a season in your life. I know there's a lot of you here who are tending to elderly parents and little children, and that is a purpose. That is a beautiful purpose, by the way. And oftentimes, I find anyway, that purpose is found in the mundane. Purpose is found in the littlest of things. Purpose is found in the smallest of gestures. Isn't that just the way God works, though? And I just invite you into contemplating that, maybe instead of the, I'm not enough, or good grief, what's this all about? And I hate my life, and all of that stuff. Because it's easy to fall into that negative spiral. But climbing out means that we have to start with that first step. And that first step is always, I am enough. Because my darling lovely, yes, you are. You are more than enough. You're here on purpose and for purpose. We also need to recognize the weight of our words. And we have to understand that the wrong words create the wrong reality. It's true. Because what we are doing then is putting on the radar screen that this is what we are seeking out, even though that's not what it is at all. It's not how our brain understands it. And our brain is the operating system. So we have to go to that place of understanding that our words count. Every single word has weight. Every single word. And the more beautiful our words, the more beautiful our lives. The more we light other people up with beautiful words, the more we have the capability of lighting ourselves up, right? It's true, because all of this boomerangs back. When we do this, when we are giving from a heart, even the heart that feels like it just doesn't have a lot in it right now, but we manage somehow to look at the other person and look at the other family member, or just fill their little cup a little bit, we will get back so much more. That cup, our cups, will be overflowing. And I just invite you into that mentality for a moment and just think, well, what if this is true? Well, can you imagine what that might look like? Can you imagine if I were to put on the mantle of being enough and understanding that I have enough, I am enough, I'm enough for myself, I'm enough for my family, I'm enough for my children, I'm enough for everything, then that is going to come back to you in just ways I can't even tell you. The enrichment, the betterment, the vibrancy. That's what happens when we do this. And I also, because we're talking about the weight of our words, we have a tendency to walk into this place of hyperbole. That's just part of, I think, the vernacular these days. We just we have these grandiose, I don't know. When hell freezes over is hyperbole, because, hell's not going to freeze over. You know what I'm saying? So this hyperbole stuff. But when we do it in the nonsensical, damaging way of putting ourselves down and all of that, guess what that's going to do? Well, you've guessed it. It's going to put you in the place of feeling way less than. Because again, your reticular activating system, which is a part of your brain, is going to look for evidence to support all of that. So my thought is, what if instead we flip our hyperbole into the lavishness and the vibrancy that we want in our own lives instead? For example, you can say, I am so excited that my life is overflowing with goodness on every front, with my friendships, with all of my relationships, with the way I feel, with my relationship with food even. Things can heal if we are putting our mind on that very thing. Things can heal, we've all heard miracle stories of healings of all kinds, physical, emotional, etc. There's just sometimes missing puzzle pieces, but I expect, and I often say, show me the missing puzzle pieces, God. Show me the places, show me what I'm missing. And my expectation, when we set our expectation on the lavishness and the vibrancy that we want, is show me how good today can be. I expect, and I am, open for life always working out on my behalf. When we start doing that, that is opening the door to lavishness and possibility. And oh my gosh, yes, such incredible vibrancy. That's the whole thing. It's just a tiny shift from here over to here. It is, right? And for our purposes, we have to understand that there are ways of speaking intelligently, and there are ways of speaking not very intelligently and very low vibe. right? But intelligent thinking requires the emotional to be safe for the good stuff. What do you think of that? The emotional to be safe for the good stuff and not projected onto the bad. Because that is the tendency. Because I've noticed this for myself, and I just invite you into this thought process. I'm not saying you do this or anything, but I have this tendency to skip over. Oh man, that's great, and there you go. That's it. But when it comes to like some bad stuff, I think about it, I'll talk about it, I'll write about it, I'll go over and over and over it again in my head, creating more of that, indeed. But I have just skipped right over the good stuff. Like, ooh, yeah, great, done. Instead of going back and saying, oh my gosh, that was so great. Can you believe how wonderful that is? Can you believe how God is so provisional? Can you believe how abundant this life can be? Can you believe how vibrant it is? I don't do that often enough. And that is one of the things that I had discovered in my journals, by the way, writing this stuff out, that I need to spend more time on that because it feels so good. And that's one of our things that we need to do as women who are seeking vibrancy, who are seeking wisdom, is ask ourselves continually, does this make me feel good? Because I'll tell you, what doesn't make me feel good is watching the news. What doesn't make me feel good is eating crappy food. What doesn't make me feel good is sitting on my butt all day. All of these things, I know what doesn't make me feel good. So why don't we move away from that? And start looking, what makes me feel good? And believe me, it's not just all about your pleasure and your comfort and all of this, but we're here on purpose and for purpose to be joyful beings in this world, to bring joy into other people's lives, but also to bring joy into our own lives is what this is all about. Because truly, at the end of the day, the very foundational bottom line principle is, I am enough. And you are. So you know this, your thoughts, your habits, and your beliefs all make up the quality of your life, all make up who you are. And if our thoughts stink, if our beliefs are old and unserving, and if our habits are just like something we wouldn't want to write down and show someone, we got to come back and have a little revisit. And that's not so you can beat yourself up or whatever. It's just to be analytical and to really boil it down to, what do I want in this life? Start from the place of I am enough. And I've told this story 3,000 times. I am going to tell it 3,001 time. But I learned the lesson of I am not enough in about, I think it was 2000, I don't know, whatever it was, 2004, 5, something like that. And I was shopping with Marla Silly, the fly lady, you know her. And I finally just decided I'd had enough of not having clothes that fit me. Nothing fit. And I went to a store that specializes in clothing for women that are larger women. And it's Lane Bryant, if you've ever heard of it. So we went into the Lane Bryant store, and I was surprised that all these big lady clothes, that's what I used to call them too. No, I'm not gonna, this is my story, that all these clothes were cute, cute jeans, cute tops, cute accessories. And what I especially noticed was they even had lingerie in there, which I never thought to anything about until the dressing room lady, the sales lady, walked into my dressing room to give me something else to try on in a different size. And she saw me standing there in my white nursing bra. And she said, oh, honey, we just got to bring those girls up. You'll look like you lost 15 pounds automatically, And she had my attention at that point because I was just all about that. If I lose weight, then I'll be worthy again, right? Not understanding the I am enough process. Now, hear me. So she goes and she brings me bra. She measures me. She didn't ask me what size I am, which, by the way, in and of itself, that's a great lesson, because sometimes where we think we are is not where we are. That's why we measure things, by the way. That's why I say get out your tape measure instead of, don't look at the scale as much as you look at the tape measure. But measurement is important, because what gets measured gets improved, right? So she puts the tape measure on me, comes back with these beautiful bras not white cotton held together with safety pin type of a bra, but beautiful bras with lace and bows and, all kinds of things. And boy, oh boy, did they not pick up the girls. Did they not make me feel better about myself? They made me stand up straighter. And I learned something as I was walking out the door with about, I don't know, $500, $600 worth of clothes. Never bought that many, or that dollar amount of clothes in my life ever. And all those shopping bags. And then we went out to dinner afterwards. But I just remember the feeling of such satisfaction and excitement. I was so excited about it. I told the lady, I said, we're throwing this bra out and I'm wearing this one out. I'm never wearing that again. She said, I'll burn it for you if you want it. That was like that. But I'm walking out the door and I'm thinking to myself, I really feel good about this. I feel good about all these clothes. I feel good about the fact that, I have my boobs up where they need to be. And it just made me feel like I was enough at that point, even though in my mind, being a size 18 was the big, sin of the world. Of course, I was still a nutritionist too. And I had a hard time with the discrepancy, shall we say, in my life of coaching others and having, the issues that I had in my life. But that's beside the point. The point was I am enough was acceptance. I am enough was accepting myself right where I was and loving myself right where I was and actually being excited about what was next in my life. And it was soon thereafter that everything started to turn around and change. And you know the rest of the story. But my whole thing changed because my thoughts, my habits, and my beliefs all made up the quality of what my life was at that time. And understanding baseline foundational principle that I was enough. And it lit me up. And it changed the whole tract of my life. And it helped me to see myself in a whole different compassionate way. And it helped me see others in the same different and compassionate way. It's interesting how those things happen. So we have to look at things. So our knee-jerk thoughts that we have, do we want to choose those anymore? Or do we want to instead select a thought that better serves us? That's something that we can do if we choose to. Number two, we have to believe that our beliefs are going to basically provide the foundational structure of who we are. So we have to ask questions about them. Are they serving us? Are they purposeful? Are they old and stale, somebody else's thoughts or beliefs? Do they serve us? Do they serve others? Is there purpose behind them? We have to understand that this is what's going to underscore the exact life that we're going to lead. Because what we do today is going to count for tomorrow and the next day after that. And how we show up for the day, what we do, what our words are, and our actions behind them, it's all connected. And when we're out of alignment with them, then we can't show up authentically and fully. We just can't. And we also can't approve of ourselves, if you will, with the statement of I am enough, because the incongruency is there. Does that make sense? I hope so. Anyway, that was something that just, gave me that opened my eyes. So we also have to understand too, that sometimes we need a little more instruction than others. Sometimes we have to move intelligently with our heart, mind, bodies, and souls. And other times we need a little outside help and we need a little more detailed instruction. It's like putting together furniture from IKEA, right? You might start off with a funny name and you kind of got to figure all these little pieces out and you have to have patience as you're putting it together. But eventually it gets put together. And eventually you start to see that everything that you thought was so extra is necessary and needed in order to put this thing together. So it's not just having happy thoughts, all the time and just being, like this. It's not. It's getting actual direction to get you from here to there. It's that gap, right? And what the problem is that we so often concentrate on the gap instead of the journey and the bridge that we build to get to the other side of that. It starts with I am enough, because I am enough is foundational principle for who you are. When you get that, everything else starts to fall into place. And boy, you feel like a new woman. Can I just tell you? Personal experience. Anyway, I hope that was helpful for you. And I hope you use some of these. When I drop these little bombs and say, use this as a journal prompt, use it as a journal prompt and see what happens as you start to really get a control of what's going on in your life and start to notice different things about your life and start to live in the present and in the now. That's how life is. It presents us opportunity to do that. And I'm just asking you to grab it with both hands and recognize that, yes, you are enough and you are fully, purposefully here on purpose and for purpose. And I'm so glad. So that's today's show. Tomorrow is Transformational Tip Tuesday. I sure hope you're going to be here because it's going to be live. And I do appreciate you. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.